Pearce leading his side out, urging them on.
Mario Fennick going to do the same for the minor premiers and young Timmy Brasher. Tough call for him.
Coleman urging the players on. Big Les Davidson. Gary Jack. Clear pressure for him. And this man, the big blocker, will be into the action in a matter of seconds as time on is called. And we're underway on a day that really has a grand final feel about it. Standing room only at the stadium as Pearce takes the first tackle right on his own quarter line. Capacity crowd. Sirenen charges into the South Sydney forwards. Well, Peter Sterling has been against both these sides. What do you feel, Pete?
Oh, I feel as though we're in for a great game, Ian. The tremendous atmosphere down here. Both sides obviously know that a grand final berth is at stake here. They're just going to rip in this first 10 minutes.
And rip in they are as the Tigers clear the danger area down inside the South Sydney half, and it's got a fine touch. Harrington couldn't get there, but that's a great kick from Gary Freeman.
Yes, absolutely marvellous start for Gary Freeman to display his kicking skills in such a way. Only a couple of metres out from the corner flag. There he is, the little Kiwi half. Been in grand form the last couple of weeks. Just marvellous form.
The big men in the front row. Down they go. He's going to go with the feed. And here's Jura. 10 metres out from his own line. Crash! Oh, goodness me. Maguire and Pearce coming right in over the top. Now here's Fennick. Wrestles his way to the quarter line. Maven. Very strong Balmain defence. Blake. Sends Jack across as it rolls towards the touchline. It'll beat them all.
Well, we get tit for tat straight away. Phil Blake says, I can do anything, you can do better. He gets a very good kick along the sideline. That's really moving that football around.
So this scrum is about 15 metres inside the Balmain half. Freeman will work it for the Tigers. And again with the feed. Gary Jack kicking on the first tackle. Is a wide open space for him as well. Harrington has to rush back to pick up the ball, only a few metres out from his own line, and he's caught by Brasher. So they're really applying the pressure to South Sydney, hemming them down in their own quarter.
That was marvellous chasing from Brasher. He sprinted away like an Olympic sprinter there to capture that tackle on Harrington.
Now the Rabbitohs strike back as Coleman found some room to move up the middle. And there's a punch on in the back play. Gary Jack's involved, Blake there as well, I think Coleman as well. So it's Coleman and Blake on Gary Jack. Referee Harrigan allowing play to continue, and they're still at it. Well, they're broken up now. We'll get back to the play. 5 tackles gone for the Rabbitohs as Fennick got a pass away to Paul Roberts and over the touchline. Now the touch judges in, both of them, in fact, will report on this little altercation. Now they go right back to where the altercation took place.
Well, here's the aftermath of it. We've got Phil Blake there with Gary Jack. And here's the other player, Coleman, is it?
Coleman it is.
Yeah, Coleman the halfback and Jack on his back. There's a lot of pushing and shoving. This is not really dangerous. There's the way it started. Gary Jack on the extreme right of your screen took Coleman out of the play and threw a punch straight at him. I suggest that that's going to be a penalty to the South Sydney side. Appeared to be the transgressor, appeared to be the aggressor in that particular affray.
Well, both touch judges have given their report. Now Bill Harrigan will adjudicate. And you're quite right. A penalty going to South Sydney.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at these lower grades now, because it's a very interesting lineup there. South Sydney 28, Parramatta 16 in the under-21s. And the first time for 30 years we've had a North Sydney side, a reserve grade side or an under-21 side in the finals, I'm told. And 30 years is a hell of a long time, and they got up with a very good win today over Parramatta, 25-6. So we have 2 sides in the grand finals already, North Sydney and South Sydney.
And now it's Souths in the first grade trying to make it there in a fortnight's time. Ian Roberts. He unloads beautifully. Andrews, a high tackle. Players rushing in now with plenty of feeling creeping in. Fennick there settling some players down. Maguire warned about keeping them down below the neck and head.
Well, there's the one from Maguire. That was on Andrews, and Roberts was the man that started the action, turning the pass back on the inside to Andrews. Maguire went high. It wasn't a swinging arm, but it was a high tackle around the neck, and that's the reason he's been penalised.
Right down on the quarter line. The big crowd getting behind South Sydney. Davidson. Slammed to the ground by Sirinen and Roach.
I believe two of the Balmain forwards moved up inside the 10 yards there.
Boyle will play it 10 metres out. Coleman. Inside goes Fennick. Ducks under a tackle from Roach. They're getting closer. Standing wide is Blake, looking for Roberts. Right in front of the goal mouth. Blake this time from dummy half. Long one out. Maven's got it. Sensational pass. What a pass. Oh, Phil Blake, take a bow. Maven's got the try.
Well, the State Bank replay will show you a wonder try. This is Phil Blake throwing a pass that has to be 35 or even 40 yards long. It went straight out to Maven on the wing. He didn't have to run too far. He just had to catch it. Just watch the length of the pass, a torpedo pass, and it's a magnificent one straight to him, and in he goes and scores a grand try. That is an excellent try. Really, they're the superb skills that Phil Blake has got at his disposal. Beautiful stuff. Marvellous hands there, and there it goes. Number 5, Steve Maven scoring the try, and certainly Phil Blake must be credited with the main bulk of the work there. Just magnificent.
Phil Blake. Peter Sterling, what a pass.
Magnificent pass, Graeme. It certainly travelled plenty of distance, and that's the way to play Balmain. We know that Warren Ryan teams play an umbrella-type defence. If you can get in behind the winger and the centres and there's open spaces, there's a bit of open space there for Steve Maven.
And open space for Wayne Pearce to worry about. Bronco Dura from right on touch. There's the acute angle. He strikes it well. It's just fading on him. Right at the death. South Sydney lead 4-0. Great start to this major semi for this sellout crowd. Beautiful sunshine again. A marvellous weekend it's been in Sydney. Now this game living up to its promise. Billy Anderson, a little bit of feeling creeping in amongst the forwards too.
Well, I think that was to be expected, Graeme, wasn't it? You know, that was where this game was always going to be won and lost. I think these two packs will just about cut themselves out square, and it'll be individual brilliance. We saw a touch of it there from Phil Blake, but Balmain have got guys that can turn it on also.
Down it falls for Neville. The loser today will have to line up against an informed Canberra side. As well as they have played in recent weeks, Tim Sheens claims they can go better. Boyle. Ball was stolen from him after Harrigan had called for him to play it.
Yes, well, the State Bank replay shows the act of Sirinen stripping the ball away from the South player, but of course we can't hear the referee calling held, and that's the critical point at which they must drop off the tackle.
Blake finds touch near halfway. That's their third straight penalty. The Rabbitohs. Fennick. Chisholm. Back out for Ian Roberts. Guinea stands. Chisholm got back to his feet to take the pass. Frantic pace. Davidson. They're looking to unload all the time, the South Sydney forwards. They're getting it away well. Fennick. Good ground they've made. Had a layoff and they're looking sharp. They get down into the quarter right on the last tackle. Blake, field goal attempt. It's a horror, and it goes dead in goal back to the quarter line.
You'll notice that South Sydney using Coleman at dummy half, Bill. They obviously want to utilise every forward they can.
Well, they're going to use their 6 forwards. They're going to get them to tear right into the Balmain pack. I'm sure that George Piggins believes that his forwards can go through this Balmain side. Actually, they've started fairly well, and the one thing that South Sydney have got in is good second phase play in the forwards. Graham's already mentioned that they've got that ability just to pop the ball up and to keep the pass alive. That's winning football if they can keep it going.
Well, it's 4-0 to South Sydney as Roach tries to link up with O'Brien, and O'Brien can't hang on to it, so the Rabbitohs come up with possession again. So the early stages of this game going with South Sydney.
Neville could have been penalised there for dragging one of the Balmain players away from that play-the-ball situation.
Les Davidson charges like a wounded buffalo into the forwards, was able to keep the pass alive too, and it's still alive as South Sydney really throwing it around. Andrews will play it 32 metres out. The little kick and chase from Blake. Courier's back there for it. Courier can't get it. Can Blake get there? No, he can't. Grant just got there in the nick of time. How close was that?
Well, this is Phil Blake again putting this marvellous kick and chase game of his on display for everyone to see, and this is how close it was. It required that marvellous shovel of the ball over the dead ball line there to get them out of trouble, the Balmain side.
Plenty of pressure for Balmain, and Phil Blake really putting his stamp on this game early on as Maven brings it up. But Balmain using the single line of defence. That invitation is there for Phil Blake to chip all the time. Not now though, because the Tigers have come up with possession. Let's look at this possession held so early. 26 tackles for South, 8 tackles for the Tigers. As the Tigers desperately now try to get play down into South Sydney's half. They've been under some enormous pressure. They're going to get a penalty. That'll relieve some pressure for them. So Wayne Pearce really calling his players together, settling things down. And Gary Jack will look for touch. And a good kick from Jack too. Finds touch inside the quarter. So now it's the opportunity for Balmain to turn some pressure right on South Sydney as Elias takes the tap, gives it away. Maguire comes up with it and is put down 12 metres out. Elias again to Roach and then on to Edmed. Again Elias, again to Roach, same pattern, back for Freeman this time, then on for Neil. Now it's with Brasher. Brasher's got Courier with him. That's a Grant! Grant for the corner! Try! Great try to the Tigers and a great comeback. There were about 3 or 4 rucks that were very similar, Elias to Roach, and then the switch. And finally Grant in to score.
See it again, the state bank replay, it's marvellous. Out to one way, one side, back the other from Roach. There on to Neil. The pass out there to Brasher. Now watch the Courier pass. That was a frantic pass to get the ball away and give this man the opportunity to score, which he does clearly. Just gets he's had the same distance to run that Maven had to go to score his try for South Sydney. And this is the way the action happened. Beautiful stuff. The passing precise and quick. And Grant showing marvellous skills to reach behind him, bring that pass in from Courier, which was a very quick one, and score a great try. I mentioned this guy, Grant, last week. He's probably, of all the rugby union men we've seen in recent times, made the transition to rugby league without any flurry at all.
Great comeback by the Tigers. He scored the first try last week. And now Courier has this conversion attempt from right near the touchline.
Well, he's kicked 12 from 14 in the last 2 matches.
Plenty of deliberation from Courier. And he's kicked it. It's coming around, but just not quite enough. So no goal. And we've got a football game all tied up, 4-all.
Phil Blake, restart from South Sydney. Enormous opening to this game. That's out on the full. First major mistake from Souths.
Well, that always is a blunder. That's a very bad psychological blow, I feel, to any side to do that.
So I just wonder if it's going through Wayne Pearce's mind about a shot for Courier from halfway. Jack's going to look for touch.
Graeme, have you got any theories on how long you reckon the big fellow will last? Big Ian Roberts?
Well, I think especially with this heat, Rex, I'll be looking for a replacement either 10 or 15 into the second half.
Fair enough.
Elias with the restart. Grant. He's wrapped up by the man we're talking about, Ian Roberts. He's a great athlete. Pearce coming from way back. Well, the Tigers on the boil again now. Edmed over the top of Andrews. Roach and Coleman hang on. They need the assistance of Chisholm. The Tigers have got him stretched. Maguire. He'll play it right in front of the posts. Roach a dummy half. The flick inside for Sirenen. Can they stop him? Can they? Did he get it down? It's a try. They couldn't stop Sirenen.
Well, we'll have to see this from head on to see what the referee saw, because let me tell you that Harrigan, the referee, was down on his hands and knees having a look at that one. Look at the flick pass back inside. Now, this is the enormity of this man's physique, the strength and power of him. He's able to make the line, and, well, there's a player interposed there between us. So it's a little bit hard to see, but the referee was in an excellent position to adjudicate on that. He quickly got into a front-on position, as you'll watch now. He's sprinting into position, and apparently he's very happy with the way the ball's been put down, and so are the Balmain players. But again, it's Roach's skill. The left-hand side of the ruck he travels, the flick pass back on the inside. Sirenen takes Bronco Duron, the poor little fella, who's also been fired from his job this week, which must be a lovely delight for him in such a big week. But there's a grand try to a big, strong man, Paul Sirenen, 24 years of age and a policeman. What else could he be?
Courier now a lot closer than his first attempt, and he adds two more. The Tigers bounce right back to lead now, 10-4. This crowd's enjoying a sensational match. Coleman's come to the sideline, getting some attention to a knee. Maguire offloads for Freeman. Maguire. Now the Tigers keep it alive. Elias went behind him. Pearce. Back for Roach. What's the problem with Coleman, Bill?
Well, it looked like a twofold problem. He indicated that he had a problem with his head, but also with the knee. So, you know, two things. They haven't put anyone on yet to take his spot.
Down to 12. Wayne Pearce. Courier. Little chip ahead for himself. Going towards touch. They let it go out over the sideline, Souths.
Well, the idea was right there. He was trying to get the kick to stay in the field of play, but stay near the sideline. But Bronco Dura, the South Sydney fullback, was able to just safely get up close and watch the ball go over the line.
Blake feeding the scrum. No fullback, with Dura up playing 5'8". Maven comes in off his wing. Ian Roberts. The height of the man makes him so difficult to put down. One out. So often he's going to be left standing. Boyle. Blake. The kick. Blake's down there with Neville and Maven. Jack's wrapped up. And now the Tigers just have to handle the pressure in their own 22. 10-4, Balmain have a south.
And still no replacement for Coleman. So the Rabbitohs playing with just 12 men at the moment.
Well, I would have thought George Piggins would have had somebody ready immediately to go on. This is too important a game not to have the same number of players on the field as the opposition.
Penalty goes to the Tigers here, but further to the South Sydney reserves. I mean, they do have a lot of talent sitting on the bench. There's George Figgins. That's his foot, you can see. His face is there somewhere. Of course, the ruling may well be that it's not a head bin case, in which case they couldn't put a replacement on. And if he went off holding his leg, I suppose it'd be hard to argue, wouldn't it?
Well, I'd try.
Now Roach. Well, there's the scrums for you. Nothing in it, 2-1 in favour of the Rabbitohs, and the penalties all tied up at 3. As Pearce finally got a pass away to Courier. Courier with a little bit of room to move too. The kick ahead, down for Dura. Somehow it stayed in the field of play, and Dura will play it just about on his corner as Coleman returns to the fray. So South now back to their full complement as Coleman again straight into the dummy half roll. Ian Roberts out for Davidson. Change of possession. We understand that Coleman has a laceration to the knee which will be stitched at half-time, so he's going to battle on until then. And now there's another... No, I thought he lost the football then, Brasher, but well, in fact he did. He's been allowed to get away with it. Pearce will play it just outside the corner. Now Freeman for O'Brien. Tremendously exciting game of football so far as Elias links up with Roach. Big blocker got an arm free, but there was no one there to pick up a pass, so he's hung on to it. 5 tackles gone for the Tigers. Freeman to Sirinen, and the big man charges ahead again. This time they've held him, and he's pulled down just a metre short of the line. Dura comes away with it. Sirinen very heavily involved. Gets anywhere near that line, he's tremendously difficult to stop. Davidson will play it. Good defence from Elias on Ian Roberts. Now Andrews. Up for Fennick, who's kept it alive. Ball Roberts. The Rabbitohs hemmed in their own quarter. Here's Ian Roberts again. Straight into Roach. Edmed comes in to assist. 5 tackles gone.
I've been watching Roberts since the start of the game, anticipating he'd run out of gas at some stage and have to walk, but he really isn't giving himself any treat out there. He's going hard as he can possibly go. Obviously, he just wants to keep playing it till he blows up.
Gary Jack picking up the Phil Blake kick, and Phil Blake's got him. Good assist from Harrington. Just the 3 errors made in the handling department, that's a good indication, and only 3 missed tackles so far in the game. So it's all happening. And the Tigers in their own quarter. Wayne Pearce. And how's the game unfolding for you, Pete?
Well, obviously not a great deal in it. Both sides started off tremendously well. This man here is going to be even though he's made a mistake there, Benny Elias is still the man that I think controls most of Balmain's chances. So much revolves around him.
Davidson looking for a way through there, and in fact has lost the football. Brasher has it. So possession changing. Touch judges on. Both touch judges on, in fact.
This is for a tackle on Boyle, who wasn't in possession.
Yes, we'll see it again on the State Bank replay. There's Davidson running. Now, Boyle is the man that was, well, it wasn't a tackle so much as he ran straight into Sirinen, and Sirinen ran into him. I don't necessarily think there's a great deal involved in that, not a sending off offence. He's one of those situations that happens frequently in a game of rugby league. The penalty will go to the South Sydney side.
So Sirinen concedes the penalty. South will take the shot for goal. It's a relatively simple kick. Just a fraction outside the right-hand upright and just inside the corner. So Bronco Jura should have a lot of trouble with this. Now all the mascots are here in force. We've seen plenty of rabbits, and we've seen a couple of tigers loose in the crowd. And what a crowd. There's one bunny. Here's Jura. And no mistake from Bronco. So the Rabbitohs edge a little closer. The Tigers have it at the moment, 10-6.
Certainly trust you're enjoying this great major semi-final wherever you're watching. In Perth, over in New Zealand, anywhere in Australia, or overseas in the United Kingdom. This is a great match, living up to its billing. Courier sends it deep. Jura tries to step inside Maguire. Harrington. Fennick. Bill, to me, this semi-final seems to be played at a lot quicker pace than either last weekend or even yesterday.
Yeah, it's a tougher game. It's a real torrid one, Graeme, and these sides realise the importance of the match. The winner obviously going into the grand final. And I think they also know that it's going to take so much effort to win this game that the loser's going to have a battle on their hands against Canberra. So there's plenty resting on it.
Well, State Bank replay shows Phil Blake again finding the line with a beautiful kick. Gain of about 40 metres. He's really had a very good introduction to this game.
Now Surin has moved to 5'8". So they use him up from the scrum. On Jura. That's wide. He ran over the top of Jura. Andrews was quick to break. Courier knocked it forward. South Sydney in possession. Look for Coleman and Blake to go into overdrive here. A real tangle in the play of the ball. Elias stole it for the Tigers. So they've lost the opportunity. O'Brien. Fluctuating portions of this match. Maguire. Oh, great run. Still busting tackles. Elias looks for Roach. He unloads beautifully for Pearce. Brasher. But South Sydney now have it. A little bit of sloppy passing. Fennick pushes away Elias. Blake. Cut out pass for Maven. He knocked it behind him. He just pushes away Edmed. He comes back to join in with Sirinen. A warning from Harrigan about some swinging arms. Ian Roberts away from Freeman. Now he passes back to Balmain. I can't believe some of these passes at the moment. Neil. 10-6, the Tigers over the Rabbitohs. Edmed. Elias switches play for Neil, who called for it quickly. Courier. Here comes Brasher. If it's going to stay in, well, there was going to be trouble if it stayed in the field of play.
Yes, I think they realised that Bronco Jura is not the quickest fullback going around. He's one of the most reliable, certainly, but he was always going to be done for pace here. And here's Brasher just doing the sprint, but unfortunately the ball, from a Balmain point of view, a little bit too strong and went over the sideline.
The scrum to go down about 8 metres out from South's line. Jura. Harrington. He had plenty of room to move. Quick play of the ball was the advantage there for Souths. Davidson just pushes Brasher out of the way, who was standing in an offside position. Chisholm. He wants Roach, and Roach is complaining about an elbow on the ball carrier.
Well, the State Bank replay just shows there's a little left hand gone into there. Roach is complaining about having had an elbow go into the face, but he's agreed now with the referee. Don't often see that.
So Blake finds touch just inside the Balmain half. What a great game of football. World Grand Final stuff. Davidson charging ahead.
Playing very well.
Able to offload to Fennick and then Coleman and then on to Chisholm. So South's getting into a very strong attacking position now as Ian Roberts, caught by Sirinen. They're still able to offload though back for Andrews. Now Coleman, back inside is Ian Roberts. Pulled down just 10 metres short of the line. Great opportunity now for South Sydney. Pressure for the Tigers. Coleman away for Chisholm. Keeping it alive brilliantly. Coleman plays it. Inching their way closer to the line. 5 tackles gone. And that'll be the 6th. Tremendous defence. Edmed and Elias. Now Brasher comes away. Pierce.
Whoops. A swinging arm there from Neville on Pierce. He ducked under it.
Roach, the pass back inside. Bounced okay for Pierce. Freeman. And Maguire turned it back for Jack and then back for Edmed. Keeping it alive well. Freeman and Elias. Now Courier. For Grant. Back inside for Neil.
Awful lot of passing. Very little territory.
Elias kick. He's going to find touch. 10 metres inside South's half. Huffing and puffing out there. It's been played at a terrific pace.
Yes, they've only got 7 minutes to go to half-time, or nearly 8 minutes, but they really are starting to feel their wind at the moment, some of these lads.
It'll be Coleman to work the scrum as Blake receives some attention to a thumb. Jura. And then out for Maven. Neville. Found Harrington. And back for Coleman again. And Chisholm. Keeping it alive to Coleman. Good stuff now from South to Ian Roberts. Gets it back for Jura. Chisholm again. Now out for Boyle. From the shadows to the sunlight and then back the other way again. Boyle's fallen on it. 5 tackles gone. Coleman. Picked up by Jack. It bounced well for him. Got away from Maven. Linked up with Grant. Now Courier. Not getting any breaks out there, these players. O'Brien come in looking for the football. And that one pulled down just 15 short of halfway. Now Maguire.
He's been very strong too.
10-6, Balmain over Souths at the moment. Roach. That's the halfway mark. Neil. Sends Maven back for it. On his own corner line. Roberts. Coleman again at dummy half. And Davidson. attracts plenty of defenders. It's been touched by Balmain.
Coleman refereeing the game there, indicating with his arm that there was 6 to go before the referee. Cheeky little devil.
Neville on to Harrington. Good defence from O'Brien. Now Neville again. Chisholm. Caught by Elias just inside the Balmain half. Coleman. Back it comes for Andrews. Roberts had it, lost it, had it again and finally lost it.
Yes, it's easy to criticise here. He very nearly regathered this ball. At that point he had it, and his other hand came up and knocked it out of the right hand. So it was almost a beautiful moment for him, but it turned into a bit of a bad one.
Freeman away for Jack. This game continues on its pace. Pearce steps Andrews well. We go inside the last 5 minutes before half-time. Roach, the dummy. Back for Elias. A little hole for him, that's all it had to be. He gets through. No support. Quickly to his feet. Neal. Courier. Straightens up. It was a shocker of a pass. It was thrown forward anyway.
Yes, well, Courier's been guilty of this a couple of occasions here. He did the full pirouette in the tackle, looking for support, and then threw a forward pass out there. It was taken by Harrington out in the wing.
Fennick slowly to his feet. Roberts. Peter Sterling, do you think he'll be back after half-time?
I think he'll come back out for at least 10 minutes, Graeme. He looks a little bit cumbersome at the moment, but certainly the pressure is telling on a lot of these players. Pretty hot conditions down here still, and I think they'll certainly be looking forward to this 10-minute half-time break.
South's looking for a good chase here on this kick from Blake. Jack away from Neville, trying to link up with O'Brien. He does on the inside, but Blake was there. Ian Roberts at the moment, though, is still leading the way in the tackle count, I believe, for Souths. Brasher. Freeman. Hasn't been able to get clear today yet. Elias. On that angle for touch. He found it perfectly.
Yeah, Benny Elias still very reliable on the kick. Has shown Balmain the easy way to make about 22 metres there. With only a couple of minutes to go now, 2 minutes and 17 seconds to the half-time break.
Jura. Boyle gets 32 out from his own line. Now Davidson running strongly today, he has been. Roberts. The two tiniest men in the Balmain side, the half and 5'8", trying to get him down. The kick again. Elias is back there surprisingly with Gary Jack. Now, Souths will be looking for a big set of 6 tackles to really apply the pressure here, force a mistake to give them a chance right before the break. Freeman, Neal, they're going to shift it quickly. Pearce. Freeman, run around for Courier. Little chip for himself. Coleman's back there. Well, they left it for each other. Jura's going to come up with it. And an open space for him. Support out wide, Roberts. Tries to step Maguire. Good cover from Maguire. About 40 seconds before half-time. Coleman loses the ball. Picked up by Harrington. Roberts. Quick hands for Fennick. Blake. Beautiful hands. Flicks it out the back for Chisholm. He's wrapped up about 12 metres out. 20 seconds before half-time. The dummy from Andrews. Back for Chisholm. Coleman. Someone's got to run. Blake. Dummies. Outside pressure. He tried to get a miracle ball away. Time has beaten both sides.
Yes, this was a magnificent run up until the point where the pass was thrown, and unfortunately got himself totally disorientated. The ball went about 5 metres forward. A very, very exciting bit of action there. And at the half-time break, we've got Balmain leading by 10 points to South Sydney 6.
To 6. The Tigers have their noses in front at the moment. And we check the first half tackles. Well, South Sydney have made 73 of them. Ian Roberts, his first match in something like 17 weeks, showing the way with 16. But Balmain have made 96 tackles. Maguire and Pearce doing most of the work.
Well, that's a credit to Ian Roberts that his stamina. He is, as Graeme mentioned, a superb athlete. He's big, he's very strong. The man is unquestionably a fine athlete as well.
Well, there's the possession held statistics for you. Souths have held it for 70 tackles, 57 for the Tigers. As the second half is underway, Bronco Jura takes the kick-off and brings it back over his own corner line. First half was played at a frantic pace. Harrington bustling his way. Both sides noticeably tired in the last 10 minutes or so of the first half, as you would expect. Gary Jack is right back on his own goal line to field this one. 3 South Sydney defenders there to hem him in.
And Michael Neal for dummy half.
O'Brien takes it out to about 12 metres out. Now Pearce. Ian Roberts again involved in the tackle. So was Mario Fennick. Freeman. Again, the South Sydney forwards moving up very quickly as Edmed brings the football up. 5 tackles gone for the Tigers. Neal sends it. Harrigan's made a mess of it. Harrington, I should say.
The referee judged that he kicked that ball accidentally when he bent down to pick it up. His hands didn't come in contact with it.
Now Neville playing it, and here's Fennick. Blake. Into that bottom left-hand corner. Gary Jack has a bit of work to do again. As Lyons came through at 100 miles an hour to slow him down. He certainly did that. Great chaser, as Bill Anderson said. That's what he's out there to chase those kicks. Hem the Tigers in. Now O'Brien gets out to the corner line.
That's a good run from O'Brien. He's done that sort of thing on about 3 or 4 occasions.
Ball's been pinched in to play the ball. So South Sydney now with Andrews back inside the Balmain quarter. Crashed to the ground by Gary Jack. Roberts gets to within 9 metres of the line. Graham Lyons, dummy half. Coleman got it away for Boyle. Perfect position now for South Sydney. 10 metres out as Blake got it away to Ian Roberts. Nowhere for him to go. Blake at dummy half. A flick pass to Coleman, and now it comes beautifully on the pass had been ruled forward. Well, Harrington was in the corner, but Bill Harrigan immediately ruling that pass forward.
Well, see it again. The pass from Neville onto Harrington, I think, is quite clearly a forward pass, and that is a disappointment for Harrington. It was a well-contrived little move they had on the blind side, but unfortunately that pass from Neville just going half a metre forward.
So the scrum win to the Tigers. Early pressure in the second half for them. Pearce straight across field. Brought down by Boyle. Now out for Roach. Ian Robertson, Neville there waiting for him. Elias. Now Sirinen. This is the last tackle now for the Tigers. Benny Elias, let's get out of here. The kick rolling towards the touchline magnificently. Great kick from Benny Elias.
Well, whenever Benny goes quiet in a game, you can rely on the fact that something spectacular will happen. He's had a little quiet patch, and lo and behold, out comes one of these marvellous line kicks, taking play to within about 8 metres or so of the South Sydney line. Really a beautiful kick.
Now, Bill Harrigan's just giving a bit of a running caution to Sirinen. It was a bit of a dust-up between he and Boyle in the last play of the ball. The Tigers had to really soak up some pressure. They did it ever so well. Lyons down a short blind side. Roberts still pumping it out. His first match in some 16 weeks. Blake. They're kicking quickly, Souths, and they're chasing well. There's 4 and 5 of them bearing down here on Jack and O'Brien. They're going to have to hurry. Was he legitimately tackled? Is it a penalty? It's a penalty to Balmain.
Has to be a penalty. The boy was tackled. The Balmain player was tackled in the field of play, and it was assisted over the line at that point there. There it was. Now, Harrington was the boy that transgressed, or the player that transgressed. And there he is. Clearly a penalty to the Balmain side. Same sort of situation as when they work on the sideline, so assisting somebody over the sideline.
Peter Sterling, there's a lot to like about this South kicking game, something like Canberra yesterday.
Yes, they started off particularly well. Kicked third tackle, they made 30 yards from the kickoff and then belted down to start the second half off. It's just smart play. They've got good speed men out wide, and they're putting plenty of pressure on the Balmain players having to go back and save the situation.
And saving the situation is needed. They're leading 10-6, protecting this 4-point lead. Maguire. Souths are making it hard, as Peter Sterling said, for these Balmain forwards having to turn around. Rice knocks it back. The two teams that played the grand final in '69, Balmain and Souths, they're trying to set it up again 20 years later. Jura. Inside Roach. Now Souths in good position, nearly back to halfway on all the first and second tackle. Their under-21s, the President's Cup, are already into the grand final. And as is North Sydney, who've played so well in reserves today. Ian Roberts looking for more work. Out for Coleman, who fumbles and knocks on.
Freeman wanting the ball from Coleman, and Coleman, because he's upset at dropping the footballs, not wanting to give it to him.
A little bit of a battle here just to see who's going to take this loose head. This young Jim Sidaris, 17 years of age, warms up on the sideline. It'll be for Ian Roberts, and Fennick will go to the front row. Jack, taken by Blake. Wayne Pearce. He and Maguire have been tireless for the Tigers. Freeman. A gap for him now. He accelerates beautifully. Down to the 22, he couldn't link up with anybody. They've turned South Sydney around. Quick play the ball. Roach. Great ball out for Elias. They've got some numbers if they shift it. Grant makes an absolute meal of it.
State Bank replay. Currier, the long pass out there, came to him perfectly, snatched at the football, didn't look at it.
So here comes Sidaris. He turns 18 in October. There'll be a great ovation for this man, Ian Roberts.
as indeed there should be. He's really given his all. Had a good tackle count, and he's worked remorselessly throughout the game.
Now Dura to bring it away from their own quarter line, Souths. They're going to do it through Boyle. Sedaris quickly into it. A good running forward. The handling error is 11 against South, the 7 on the Tigers. Here comes this kick again. Now Lyons is onside. It's gone right down the centre of the field. It'll go dead and beat everybody. The thought it's still coming from South, though, that kick.
Well, we've heard the ovation for Ian Roberts as he left the field, and the 40,000 crowd here, capacity crowd, as Ian Roberts is off the field now, and Billy Anderson's with him.
Ian, well done. Congratulations. A great effort after so many weeks out, but it's a tough game.
There's still a lot more effort needed to win the game. Balmain are controlling their rush. We can be putting down a few balls. Hopefully we can, Phil Blake can spin a bit of his magic and come up with a try. Still a very close ball game.
I'll let you get your breath back, mate.
Thanks very much, Ben.
He'll sleep well tonight, Ian Roberts. As South Sydney now right on the attack just outside the corner. Oh, and Davidson pulled down. Maguire was there around the chest, signals Harrigan. Blake caught by Sirinen just outside the quarter. Sedaris is able to offload to Coleman. Now it's back for Davidson. They've used up 5 tackle Souths. Coleman nowhere to go, so he uses the little kick. Gary Jack was perfectly positioned for it. Lyons wraps him up. Right on their own line now, Balmain, as Courier runs away from dummy half. Lyons brings him down. Gary Jack. The winner of this game straight into the grand final and gets a week's rest. After a struggle like this, they'll welcome that. Elias. Back for Neil. Charged down and picked up again.
6 to go.
And the tackle count restarted as Brasher runs from dummy half. Now Edmed. Freeman onto Roach. Just couldn't get his arms free for Sirinen, who was right alongside of him. Now Freeman back inside for Maguire. He's beaten one. Got to the halfway mark. This is the last tackle for the Tigers. Elias down for Lyons. Lyons has Dura with him. Got out of one, still going, Graham Lyons. Down the touchline, got to the halfway mark and got around Freeman. Freeman came again and just pulled him down with a great run from Graham Lyons. Lashed out in the play of the ball, it'll be a penalty to South.
Well, it'll show Benny Elias lashing out at the ball, kicking it into the dummy half's legs and then falling on it. He's fallen on it technically in the ruck area, and that's the reason for the penalty, because nobody can handle the ball in between the 2 players.
Mario Fennick wants to come in and join the discussion. He's been told to go away. Gary Jack is there. Wayne Pearce as captain, listening to a report from the touch judge. This is the penalty for Elias. And so South's now right on the attack. About 13 metres out from the line. And here comes Davidson like a runaway train. Got the football away to Mario Fennick. 8 metres short. Tugger Coleman at dummy half. Chisholm got to within 3 metres. Boyle Sedaris somehow got it away to Blake. There's the cutout pass for Harrigan. He's trying to get there and he made it. That is a try, and a very strong try to Ross Harrington. Great stuff from South Sydney.
Again, we'll have to look to Phil Blake for this try, but let's have a look at it again on the State Bank replay. Coleman, away to Boyle. Sedaris there, you'll see, gets a one-handed pass away beautifully to Blake. Now, Blake elects to go long. He's got Harrington out there. He's tried both wingers. They both work for him. And there he gets the ball down at that point, right on the line. As far as I'm aware, right on the line. We'll just have to clear the air and see exactly what happens in this shot. If the referee has had little doubt about it, he's the man that has to rule on it. That long pass again from Phil Blake. And here he goes, and the ball is down. So that's a very, very good try indeed. We'll see it from head on now, up in the elevated camera. Boyle, the pass out to Sedaris. He elects to take the tackle and slip the ball under the arm nicely. Blake sees what he thinks and hopes and prays as an opening out wide for Harrington, one of the toughest wingers in the business. And he gets the ball down on the line. And that's a good try. Another policeman, another age 24. They're coming out of the woodwork.
She's a strong winger. We've remarked on his strength all year. It's his third try for the year and has presented Bronco Jura with this kick. And Jura's kick is sliding off to the right, so he can't add the extras. But hello, hello, hello. Look at the score. All wrapped up. 10-all between Souths and the Tigers.
Got to hand it to both these sides. The effort from both sides is absolutely enormous. The only chance they've had for a rest is when one or the other has scored. The pace is just like the first half. Harrington, the try scorer. He's done a terrific job for his side, especially inside their own quarter line a number of times. Sedaris, South's full of running. They've had the majority in the share of possession. Blake, here's the kick again. The same angle. Grant back there slowly. Jack can't get it into touch.
Graeme, I just have to comment on the fact that as we watch this very good kick go in on the State Bank replay, Sedaris having the confidence to attempt to pass as he did in that last movement from underneath one arm out there, out the back. That was a beautiful pass, something that a senior footballer, a man with many years of football, would probably have attempted only on the basis of a lot of experience.
No doubt about it. The Dally M Rookie of the Year, 17 going on about 25. Courier can't beat Andrews. Trying to get the penalty. Maguire. I think it was Andrews who took an elbow to the face in that tackle. Freeman. Neil, they've spread it quickly for Courier. Here's a chance. He's got so much pace. Coleman's coming. He can't get in. One-hander. Great play. Freeman loses it at the finish. Oh, give Courier a chance and he's gone.
Yes, a magnificent run by Courier, and the NFL pass back on the inside looked like a quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams the way he threw the ball back on the inside, but the pass went astray when Freeman was hit.
South's a man short as Andrews struggles to get back to join the ranks. Ellison's warming up, Billy Anderson.
Yes, he's going to take his place, Graeme. He seemed to take an elbow to the head region. Andrews will be coming off to the head bin, and Ellison gets a stint.
That'll give them another option of a kicker. I'd expect him to take over the goal-kicking role from Jura. Sedaris. This great major semi-final sending us into the area now where we're going to start looking for field goals from both sides. Jack, he's had it tough. South's, their kicking game has been spot on, especially in the second half.
They've run him ragged, absolutely ragged. He's really seeking for air at certain times in the game.
O'Brien trying to lift his forwards, who keep on getting turned around. Andrews is off. Edmund, here's a chance.
Well, the
knock on both ways.
I didn't see the knock on from South Sydney in the pickup.
Well, the scrum will go down with a South Sydney feed. There's Ellison. He's one to look for a field goal. Coleman and Blake are the others. His first touch. Coleman for Boyle. Neville. Ducks under a tackle inside the quarter. They're nearly directly in front of the posts. 10-all. Sedaris. They shift it wide. Chisholm. 12 metres away. Coleman. Davidson. Roberts couldn't handle it. Neither could Balmain. Scrum will go down again. In fact, he may not have ruled. I'm sorry, Ian. It might be just a rule against a Balmain knock-on here. We'll have to wait and see.
It's a very important decision. My word, it is. South Sydney get the feed. Coleman found Ellison there with him. The drama continues. Souths get to 10 metres short of the line. Out for Sedaris. He saw a little gap there, and he's pulled down 5 metres short of the line. Fennick to Coleman, and then to Blake. So close. Playing it forward, going on his own, almost got there. Too much strength in defence, just 2 metres short of the line. Across for Coleman, now for Ellison, and a long cut-out pass for Neville. Neville's trying to get around, he's got it on the Lions. Lions flicks the ball back in desperately, but unfortunately for him, it's gone to a Balmain player. Mick Neal was the one who was there to pick it up. So it's still 10-all in a terrific game of football. Neal will play it. Elias from dummy half. Got out of one. And he's able to keep it alive. Freeman. Caught by Fennick. Still inside the quarter now. Edmed takes play outside the quarter now. Roach. 5 tackles gone for Balmain. And the word from South Sydney is that Michael Andrews won't be back. So Ellison is on there now for the duration. Jura back inside his own quarter to retrieve that kick. Neal is there to harass him. So is Courier. Courier it is who got to him first. Neal finishes him off. Lions. It's interesting to note where Gary Jack is standing. He's standing very, very deep now. In fact, way back near his own quarter line in preparation for one of these kicks that South Sydney have employed so well as Fennick charges over the halfway mark. Playing with a great deal of confidence now, South Sydney. Coleman flicked it back inside. It's gone to Sedaris. Sedaris has thrown a wild pass. Jura's there to pick it up. Being harassed by Elias. Got away from him. Pulled down just inside the Balmain half. Last tackle now for South Sydney. Lions goes to dummy half. Long-range field goal attempt from Ellison will fall short and wide and will go dead.
Not dead.
So the drama continues.
Yes, it's the survival of the fittest at the moment because all the players on the field are feeling the pitch very, very badly from the pace of this game.
This 40,000 crowd enthralled. No one has moved. A game that is worthy of a grand final. It may well see these two sides clashing again in 2 weeks' time. Standing between one of them, though, is Canberra. Now, Roach. One thing in the Tigers' favour is the fact that Coach Ryan has not yet used a replacement. So he's got a number of fresh players he can call on. And hardly nothing on the scoreboard and nothing between them in handling errors either, or missed tackles. So how even can you get? Edmed burst through, got Gary Jack with him. Jack's got Freeman on him. He's run away from Freeman, but he's linking up with Grant. Grant, oh, can't get there. A pass that wasn't a good one. And over the touchline it goes. The crowd settles down again.
Yes, they probably expected more of Gary Jack than a pass that went along the ground at this stage. That was a dreadful pass and knocked on too by Grant. One is not accustomed to seeing Gary Jack throw a bad pass. Matter of fact, one's not accustomed to seeing him pass the ball very often.
Saw Sean Edwards warming up. There's Edwards. Boyle. Chisholm. What can they do any differently, Peter Sterling, both these teams?
Well, I think South don't have to do anything different. I think their game plan has been very effective. They'll just keep kicking, great field position. And now is obviously the test as to whether this week off is a problem. To me, it's a huge advantage. I think that South will win the football game because they've had that extra week.
Now, will this one stay in the field of play? No, it won't. Allison trying to keep it. Now, Mark Lyons is loosening up for Souths. George Piggins, I wonder what's going through his mind with Lyons and the replacement. Wayne Pearce is going to restart as we start to think about maybe extra time. Warren Ryan too, thinking about his change with Edwards. And Warren Ryan trying to coach a team into his 6th grand final in the 80s. An outstanding record. Edmed. All this major semi-final that has been one of the really great ones. Brasher. Great tackle from Neville on Courier. Elias. The duel between he and Blake has been outstanding. Now Lyons just gets there. Straight into Michael Neal. Jura. One of the few times the Tigers have been inside South Sydney's 22 in this second half.
Brasher disposed of Jura there with casual aplomb, caught him by the collar and threw him about 4 yards.
Territorially, it's been South Sydney. The Balmain defence quite remarkable at times. Sidaris unloading. Boyle thrown to the ground by Sirinen. Ellison charged down by Elias. He recovers it. Now here's a chance for Balmain.
The reflexes of a cat.
Neal. Straight across the field for Courier. Greg, Courier will score. Oh, Benny Elias set it up with the charge down. Courier had the pace. He leaps into the air. The Tigers might be into their 2nd grand final in 2 years.
Astonishing reflexes by this remarkable little fella, Benny Elias. We haven't seen that part of the action. We're watching Neal run across field, giving it to Courier, who evades Neville with a beautiful surge of pace and goes around and scores a fair dinkum good try, a real solid try, a beautiful try. But we had the situation earlier where the kick was charged down, and Benny Elias somehow or other got up off the ground and was able to fall on the loose ball, which started all of this. And that's the most remarkable thing about the try. I've seen Courier run 25 to 30 yards to score tries. I've seen him run 60 yards to set up tries. But however, Benny Elias clambered off the ground to fall on a loose ball about 7 or 8 yards away from where he was astonishes me. Now there's Courier finishing the work started by Benny Elias. Let's give the credit where credit's due.
What an acquisition he's been for Balmain in '89. They lost Hanley, but they've lost nothing with this man. Now Kevin Hardwick's on the sideline. Apparently you have a beef for Steve Roach, Bill.
That's the way it looks. Roach coming from the field now, and Hardwick, a noted tackler to take his place. The Tigers with their nose in front, and this is just what they need.
Talking of noses, it's Steve Roach looking as though he's got a broken one. Andy Courier with a kick that can give them a little bit of relief. That 6-point gap, or maybe to let South back in. Souths have got a big chance still. Balmain 14-10.
Well, Steve Roach looking suitably unimpressed, although his side's in front. He never smiles until it's all over.
I think it'll be counting your chickens before they hatch today if you thought with 10 minutes to go that the game was over.
It's the Tigers just in front. Well, you saw Steve Roach sitting sideline. Bill Anderson's joined him.
Steve, as tough and torrid a game as I've ever seen.
Mate, it's very tough game. Full credit to South, mate, but mate, we've earned our win if we win this today. I'll tell you, we've trained real hard, mate, and we just want to get to a grand final. That's all that matters.
How's the situation with the nose? I've seen it look better.
Mate, it's been worse too, so I'm all right.
Thanks, Steve.
Steve Roach sideline as McNeil takes the football back inside. Freeman's in support. Freeman down the touchline. He's got Gary Jack inside. Jack's got support too from Maguire. The pass may have been forward. It's been allowed. Maguire's in the score for the Tigers. And look at the Tiger. Look at Steve Roach.
Oh, a sensational try scored by a very good player, Maguire, who's had a fine game today. But I'll swear the last pass was forward. Now Neil here, and we're watching carefully to see whether we can spin this one. Gets it away to Freeman. Freeman sprints up the sideline, looks back on the inside. And Gary Jack's pass appeared to me to be forward to Maguire by a couple of feet, without any shadow of a doubt in my view. The referee has allowed it, and I think we'll probably hear a little bit more about that one later in the week, or as the papers come out about this game. There's Neil, the one-handed pass on to Freeman, the pass back on the inside to Jack, and Jack's pass there onto Maguire, backing up beautifully, and really has done a fine job for his team today.
Bruce Maguire, 4 tries for the year. He certainly plastered them today. He's had an outstanding game. And he's presented Courier with a relatively easy kick for him. Andy Courier makes no mistake, puts it between the posts. And the Tigers now 20-10 over South Sydney. Laurie Nichols looking for another grand final. And what a contrast between Laurie Nichols and the coach. Now we've got some more changes, Bill Anderson.
Yes, Longbottom on for South in place of Chisholm. Edmed off the field for Balmain. He's replaced by Sean Edwards. O'Brien also off, and Tony Chalmers on.
Okay, the changes coming thick and fast now as Sean Edwards takes his place in the field. Gary Jack brings it up towards the quarter line. Well, Steve O'Brien's played pretty strongly.
He's had a good game. Made a lot of little short bustling runs, been difficult to tackle.
Now the Tigers starting to run with a reasonable amount of freedom here. Freeman, Edwards, and then Hardwick was cut out. It went to Pearce and now Maguire. So things are starting to shape up as if South Sydney will take on Canberra next week. Hardwick, 5 tackles gone. Penalty goes to the Tigers.
Well, he's concerned there about the Phoenix striking for the ball and reaching forward through the ruck. That's the signal that he's made.
Well, how quickly this game changed just when we were thinking about a tied score and maybe extra time. 2 tries in 3 minutes to South Sydney. To Balmain, I should say. Looks as if it's taken them into the grand final. It's maybe a little easier road for them this year. They had to really come from the way back last year to get there. Not suggesting it's been an easy road for them by any means. Brasher caught high by Phil Blake, but around the shoulders, around the chest at least, signalled by the referee. Chalmers.
One thing, Harrigan does give a signal early so that you've got something to talk about and doesn't leave any doubt on anyone's mind exactly what the reason was.
Pearce able to offload to McNeil. 5 tackles gone. Edwards. Harrington stood his ground, couldn't take it cleanly. The ball is still alive. Chalmers has picked it up and grounds it, but the knock-on has been ruled by Harrigan.
Yeah, a little doubt about this because the knock-on took place at that point from the player Brasher, and Chalmers was the man in the offside position who came through.
South Sydney with only 5 minutes of the major semi-final to perform some magic. Sedaris tries it inside his own quarter. Great football. A flash try now would give them some chance. That look forward out the Lions. Now Roberts. Balmain have got it. Elias spreads it wide for Brasher. Chalmers. Balmain had to soak up so much heat from South in the first 20 minutes of the second half. Great character for them to bounce back from that.
Yes, the pass from Wayne Pearce here went forward after he was tackled. It was just one of those things. He wasn't in a very good position to pass the football.
A little over 3 minutes remaining. Blake. Cut out pass to Neville. Back for Dura. George Piggins now lines up against the Canberra Raiders. He couldn't have asked for a bigger effort from his players today. Controversial the last try. But South now have to pull out a big one against one of the hottest backlines there is in rugby league. Chalmers. Start thinking about someone like Wayne Pearce, who announced mid-season that he was going to have another year with Balmain. He's earned everything in rugby league. He's represented his country. The grand final victory has eluded him. I wonder if they can pull it off in 1989. If on grand final day he might decide to call it quits. Seranen loses the ball. Back for the scrum. Some tired players out there, disappointed ones in red and green jumpers. The minor premiers and club champions this year are going to have to do it the hard way. Bounce back in the preliminary final. That is going to be an outstanding game. Canberra have the best attacking record in rugby league. And South, well, including this match, they've only lost 4 games all year. Penalty to Souths. Time must nearly be up. And a sellout crowd here at the Sydney Football Stadium today. We've seen a magnificent game of rugby league. Sedaris, the quick tap. A About a minute to go. Knocked down by Pearce. Scrum right in front of the posts.
Well, Savaris is really old in the head. He's only 17 years of age. This lad's tried everything. He's done everything today. He attempted a little kick over the top there, which was spot on if it had come off. It ricocheted off a Balmain player, but he really is a very imaginative player.
Freeman and Coleman have had a big duel in the half-back spot. Now, big push coming from Balmain. South still come up with it. Blake. Another long pass. Grant's got it. Blake gets over there quickly to cover up his mistake. He tried to repeat that performance of the first half. Penalty to Balmain.
Yes, pushing Grant down from Blake. The intercept was taken. Now watch Blake as he gets to his feet, and there's the push down again. There he goes.
So it's going to be these Tigers who were disappointed by Canterbury Bankstown last year in the big one. All the better for the experience. Plus the fortnight's break. Hardwick. And they've got plenty of talent on the bench to back them up. They will really firm into favourites now. Neil. Courier. The man with all the speed. Jack. There's the siren. It's all over. The Tigers will be celebrating big tonight. They're in the big one, the grand final. They know it. All the work during the year has come good for them today. They soaked it up. A great performance from South Sydney. They stretched them right out, but the Tigers were the better team, 20-10.